Today we'll be having an AMA on Reddit from the Elder Scrolls Online developers. This will be live at 2 p.m. Of course, today is September the 9th. They did not give us a big heads up about this. They posted it on social media yesterday asking people to drop their questions so they could answer these things live, of course, during the AMA. I'm going to be curious to see what the community asks. I feel like it's going to be a lot of the same questions we've seen for a long time. But mainly what I want to focus on here is what the devs are going to say. That's going to be my main takeaway from this, is what are the answers going to be, considering they're all in about community now, saying they want to get the devs out there more, the devs talking to people more, because they feel like a lot of the devs, no one knows who they even are. The devs are, kind of just keeping their head down, doing their work, and they're not really out there communicating with the community in general. So are we still going to get the same answers we've been getting forever? A lot of people feel like are kind of those answers you would expect from any business. I mean, of course, yes, ZeniMax makes a video game, but video games are still a business. They're still having to make money. So a lot of people feel like you get those PR answers from any development company that make video games, just like you would from any normal business if you asked a question or had an interview or something like that. So overall, I'm kind of curious what these answers will be. I'm hoping they're starting to be more transparent with the community. If it's something that they're not really wanting to work on, I want them to say, hey, we're not planning on doing this. We're planning on doing something else instead, and here's why. Or start giving us more in-depth answers to the questions they can answer. I know there's some things you can't talk about that might be in the works for the future. You don't want to give everything away now, especially if it's something that's not going to be happening for years out or months out. You really don't want to talk about everything that you're doing next year for the game when you still have stuff you can be doing this year for the game. And I know one question is going to be crossplay. I'm going to have a separate video on this at some point. We already know from Kevin, the community manager, recently he posted something in the forum when people were talking about crossplay, saying they actually have a team now that's dedicated to crossplay. But in my opinion, it's still something that's probably years out. There's a lot that has to go into that. I know a lot of people think you can just kind of flip a switch, but at the same time, what makes ESO interesting in that aspect is you have a lot of economy things inside of ESO, guild traders, guild trader spots, people's names, guild names, all that stuff. You got to figure out how that's going to work if you combine, of course, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. They're also going to have to figure out if they want to continue to support old gen consoles with this, because I think that's something that a lot of gaming companies now are getting away from. We're almost 5 years into the Xbox Series S, X, and PS5. There's already plenty of rumors for the PlayStation 6 starting to pop up, saying that this is going to come out sometime in 2027 or 2028. Of course, those are all rumors. But ZOS is really going to have to look at what they want to continue to support going forward. A lot of people feel like they should get away from old gen consoles. I kind of hate to say it because I know a lot of people still play on them, but at the same time, it's probably time. That's holding back a lot of development. That's always something a lot of developers talk about, where older generation consoles hold back what they can do. Now, I know ESO is not a brand new game pushing brand new graphics, so it's a little bit easier maybe to handle, but at the same time, it's still kind of getting to a point where you're going to have to start supporting just the PS5, the Xbox Series S, and PC, because before long, you're going to have even more consoles out, and you don't want to have 3 generations of consoles being supported along with PC at the same time. That's just kind of a hard thing to do. So I'm going to kind of be curious where their answers line up. Is it going to be something that, like I said, we're used to hearing, or is this actually going to be something that's new? And I think that's the direction they need to start going in. I think they need to start being just honest with the community. I mean, that's how I am in normal life. Somebody asks me a question, I'm going to just tell them my honest opinion. Whether they agree with it or not, that's fine. That's their own opinion. But at the same time, I would rather the devs say, if I asked them, is Crossplay coming out anytime soon? They just said no. We're working on it, but it's going to be at least 3 years from now. Or are we ever really going to see big improvements in PvP? Just say we're trying, but we don't see anywhere in the next year or so where PvP is going to perform any better than it is right now. Just give us a straight up answer, and then I think the community would be fine with that, or at least I would. I'm not sure about everyone else's opinion on that, but at least for me, I would feel like they're giving us honest answers. It's just not that PR answer to kind of drag people along. And I know a lot of people feel like that when it comes to gaming developers. They give you the answer that you want to hear instead of the real answer that's actually the thing that's going to transpire going down the road. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'm going to be interested overall to see how this Reddit AMA goes. I'm going to be interested to see what they keep doing to communicate with the community as a whole, because that's something they really need to focus on now more than ever. They're wanting to keep and retain old players and bring new players back into the game, or bring new players into the game, and bring old players back into the game that have left, and still continue to keep the ones that they have playing happy. And as they've been talking about lately, getting players into the game that have never even played or heard of ESO. That's a lot of work that you need to do on the development side and on the communication side. So we'll have to see what ZOS can do going forward. Leave me a comment with your thoughts. What would you like to hear them answer in this AMA on Reddit? And I'll catch you all next time. Peace.